From Divine Brother of the Light, Shane, Shema, Shani, Froyo. On October 31st, 2022, Halloween, the sun enters astronomically the first decan of the Libra Constellation, represented in the Akasha as the Two of Swords. The truth is far stranger than the fiction in this case, as it is indeed Libra that represents the boundary between the world of the living and the world of the dead. On one side of the zodiacal Libra is Virgo, the world of the living, and on the other side of the zodiacal Libra is Scorpio, the world of the dying. Notice that the astrological symbols of both Libra and Scorpio are represented with the symbolism of the M. This astrological symbolism was chosen to reference the 14th Akashic letter, Mem, M, the letter of the maat, as well as the letter of water. Maat, as we know from our ancient Egyptian studies, is the personification, the goddess of truth and justice. Maat in Egyptian literally means truth. Maat is the mother of the crossroads. Justice is derived from truth, and truthfulness is a quality measured in the heart. This is so for two reasons. Libra represents the middle of the zodiac. Libra's Akashic letter equivalent is Lamed, L, the 12th letter as well as the middle letter of the Akashic alphabet. Didn't we ever ask ourselves the question as to why the 12 sits atop the clock? It's because the 12 represents the 12th Akashic letter, Lamed, the zodiac of Libra. In fact, to the ancient Sumerians, Akkadians, and Babylonians, Libra, Lamed, is known as the Libra Constellation, as is quoted from the Enuma Elish, to the one who crosses the middle of the sea, Tiamat, Maat, may their name be Nibiru, for it takes up the center of it. Again, the 12th Akashic letter representing the zodiac of Libra is Lamed. It is interesting to note that if you place the two Lameds facing each other, it creates the perfect shape of a heart. What's even more interesting is that the Lamed is the astrological symbol of Saturn, denoting the fact that Saturn is exalted in Libra. So it is also true that if you place two astrological symbols of Saturn face to face, it also makes the shape of a heart. As we know, Libra, Lamed, is the dimension highlighted in the weighing of the heart right in ancient Egyptian religion, where the heart of the being was weighed against the feather of truth on the scales of Maat. It is from this ancient Egyptian religious symbolism that the Celtics and Druids in some way derived Samhain. From then to now we are left with the morphing we have come to know as Halloween, and it also makes perfect sense. Hall of Ween, Halloween, the hall of supposition. Ween, definition, to think or suppose, to believe, to imagine. We are welcome to believe in anything we want. If we want, we can believe ourselves to be or not to be. If we want, we can imagine the setting of creation beyond this in some higher dimension as perfect and complete. We are free to suppose the costume we wear isn't a natural reflection cast from the seat of our soul. We are free to convince ourselves and the rest of the world that this is just a game of hide and seek. After all, the masks we wear are the same masks we place around the entire face of creation. Both masks have but one requirement, that they meet our narrative. What the dimension of Libra and the building block of Lamed is searching for within our hearts is honesty. It is not so honest to believe that the universe must meet us on our terms. We are honest when we know we must meet the universe on its terms. When we refuse this, all we are doing is hiding behind the weakness we wish to conceal. Libra, Lamed, justice, is actually inviting us to avoid perfectionism. What is perfect is unsurpassable and therefore dead. Libra is the zodiacal Nibiru point, where the human and the divine meet. This is the foremost dimension where we are called to the ultimate realization. The dealing of justice always begins with ourselves. We must first give ourselves what we deserve before we can proclaim what is deserved elsewhere. Lady Justice urges us to evaluate ourselves without any masks before we dare remove the masks of the many. Lady Justice measures not with the eyes but with the pieces of evidence bold and obvious. It is this evidence that has become the unalterable laws of the universe. Be not deceived. The truth is not mocked, for whatsoever we sow, that shall we also reap. In order to balance, we must destroy the old to the degree we construct the new, for what is caused is given its effect. When I love the other as myself, for in truth we are one love. If our truth is more important than that of creation, then we have not loved and embraced our resistance. Love is not self-seeking, it is universal in its seeking, always trusting that the universe will find what lives within us. As within, so without. From Manly P. Hall, Lady Justice stands between two great pillars, symbolizing the fact that nature attains productivity by means of polarity, and demonstrating that inner standing is always found at the point of equilibrium. The truth is often crucified between two thieves of contradiction. This is the paradox.